Hi, I'm Tom Scarpello of Revology Cars, and this is car number 271, a 1968 Mustang GT Cobra Jet in performance red with black Nappa leather interior. Today I'm going to take you on a walk around of this car, and we're going to go for a drive. Let's get started. Okay, 1968 Mustang GT Cobra Jet. The 68 model year was the first year for the Cobra Jet engine. That was a high-performance 428 cubic inch engine. Our Cobra Jet is powered by our 710 horsepower supercharged 5-liter TI VCT DOHC V8, otherwise affectionately known as the Coyote. This is really what distinguishes our Cobra Jet from our standard 68 Mustang GT. Now, the cool thing about the Cobra Jet is it has the Shelby GT500 powertrain, chassis, brakes, everything, but it's wrapped in a GT package. So it's a little bit more stealth than the Shelby, although it's hard to call this car stealth. I think you'd be hard-pressed hiding from anyone with this car, particularly in this color, but relative to the Shelby, it's just a little more low-key, which is cool. It's a low-key, badass kind of car. 68 GT has the front fog lamps. Really, visually, the only differentiation from the standard GT is the hood. In the standard GT has the steel hood. This car's equipped with the optional torque thrust wheels, 17 by 9.5 with a 275 section width tire, so plenty of grip. At the side, devoid of unnecessary ornamentation, but does have the GT badge up on the fender. At the rear, it's standard 68 Mustang GT, except for the tailpipe tips that are poking out from underneath the rear valance. This car is available for sale on our website. It is performance red, which was the 2000 Cobra R color. There were 300 units made, all painted performance red. Why did we choose that color? It was actually pretty simple. So at the time, the objective of the special vehicle team was to make cars and trucks that captured enthusiasts' attention and got publicity for Ford. We weren't focused on selling a lot of vehicles, but we were focused on selling vehicles to certain people who were very enthusiastic about performance and about Ford. It was really more about publicity than anything. Those were the days of magazines. And the thing that sold car magazines was a bright color car on the cover. And it was red, orange, yellow. If you had one of those three colors, it significantly increased the probability of your car being featured on the cover. And that's what you want. You want your car on the cover of the magazine. That was gold. We had this color, which we thought was really eye-catching, and we decided to make the 2000 Cobra R performance red, and we did get a record number of covers. It was 9 to be exact, so it's sort of an unusual KPI for a performance brand, but nevertheless a relevant KPI. Now, the Cobra R was a very track-focused car. It had a 5.4-liter naturally aspirated engine that put out 385 horsepower. It had really upgraded suspension and brakes. It could reach 175 miles an hour top speed. It had aero with a splitter and a large rear wing that was functional. And at $55,000, it seemed pretty expensive at the time. Of course, nowadays with the new Mustang GTD going for over $300,000, it seems like a relative bargain. But due to limited production, it really didn't see significant racing. So a lot of those cars ended up in collectors' garages and really didn't get a lot of use. This is our 68 Mustang GT Deluxe interior. This car's finished with a black Nappa leather. It's a Porsche Nappa leather. It's been stitched with all of our new Juki commercial grade sewing machines, so a really nice tight stitch. We've also added a stitch on the side of the console that really allows that leather to be drawn up really tight. It's equipped with the walnut veneer. It's a genuine walnut wood grain, and the walnut steering wheel with the Revology R logo horn button. Very tastefully done interior. Let's go for a drive. All right, so we're driving car 271, 68 Mustang GT Cobra Jet. You might expect a car like this to be really rough and kind of difficult to drive, like heavy clutch and heavy shifter and so forth, but it really isn't. It does definitely have a muscle car feel, but it's not difficult to drive at all. The shift action is firm but not heavy. The clutch pedal is firm but not heavy. You know, it's really a comfortable car to drive, and a lot of people do use them frequently, but it does have that character, right? That muscle car character. People ask me which of the Revology products is my favorite, and I don't really have a favorite. I love all of them for what they are. You know, they all are somewhat unique, but I'd have to say if I had a top three, this would be in my top three, because this car has got so much performance, but then it's wrapped in kind of a subtle exterior, you know? And I like that. It's kind of low-key badass. It's sort of my type of car. So we reached an interesting milestone earlier this month. We issued our 500th quality report. So what is a quality report? That is the process that we use to track any quality concern, identify the root cause, and fix it to ensure that it doesn't get out to the customer. We've been using this formal quality report system now since 2021. So you'd think 500 concerns over 4 years, that's like 10 a month. Sounds like a lot. Maybe it is, I don't know. The point is that you have to recognize that you have a problem to be able to fix it. You've got to flush this stuff out, and the quality report is a great way to get visibility of the problem. And then you get the people involved who can fix it, and then you communicate it so everyone knows about it. And there are a few different formats that we use for the quality report, ranging from a simple one-pager to a very complex 8D, which requires a much more in-depth analysis. You'll use that for a more complex issue, and it'll involve a cross-functional team. The 500th QR is actually a really simple one. We had started using a check strap on the 65 and 66 models that required access holes for the fasteners that secure the check strap to the door. Those access holes are covered up with a plug, and the hole was not drilled out to the correct size, so the plug wouldn't fit in the hole. So we issued a QR, determined the root cause. The root cause in this particular case was the work instruction wasn't clear for the technician. So we updated the work instruction and made it clear what size hole had to be drilled, and retrained the technician. Then we issued a campaign to go through the entire system. You know, we've got at any given time 40 to 45 cars in process. So from the time that that particular concern was identified, working back to the station in which that particular operation was performed, we found that there were 11 cars that could have been affected, and 2 of them were done correctly, 9 of them were done incorrectly. So we had to fix all those 9, update the work instruction, retrain the technician, and then recheck it to make sure that it was being done correctly. And so we've addressed that issue, but that's a simple one. There's a lot of simple ones. You know, a lot of what you have to do to get to a place where you have process capability and you can perform operations repeatedly and then get the same expected outcome. In other words, the car comes off the line the same way every time. And you've got to address a lot of these little things. They seem like little things, but little things can really add up and collectively really hamper your ability to deliver a consistent product. So that process is working well for us. We're continuously updating and refining. Like everything else we do, we don't really leave things alone. We're always kind of tinkering, trying to make things better. It's part of our philosophy of continuous improvement, and why we're able to deliver the kind of car that we do for the price, which I know it's expensive, but relative to what goes into it, it's a great value, and there isn't anything like it on the market. So we'll keep working to just get better and better.